is my very first video. So my first video is gonna be a makeup tutorial on this like look I have here. It's a very simple makeup look. It's like an everyday nighttime you can do, and it's just something like I can actually do like really quick. It's like one of my like go-to looks if I'm like, all right, about to go out, I can do my makeup like this. So that's what this video is about. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Comment your feelings about it below, whether it's good or bad. All feedback is good feedback because you watched it. So let's get right into the makeup look. I'm doing a simple look today. We're gonna start with the face and then the eyes. So at first I'm going to prep my face. I'm going to use my Mario Badescu, there we go, the herbal hydrating serum. And I use this herbal hydrating serum to add hydration to my face because I have very oily skin and all of my foundation products are matte, which are going to absorb all the oil in my skin. So to keep my skin hydrated, I use the herbal hydrating serum just so like it doesn't dry my face out and you don't get like that flaky look onto your skin. Then I use 2 foundation primers. I'm going to use the Hangover Primer by Too Faced. I use that all over my face. I will say if you're allergic to coconut oil or coconut water, don't use this because it is coconut water based. And I just rub that all over and rub it down into my neck. And then I also use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I use that just in my T-zone because that's where I get the most oily at, and this is like a mattifying oil control primer. And then my skin is prepped. So next step is going to be foundation and concealer. So I'm going to mix 2 foundations because right now it's like wintertime and I'm a little in between, like my summer shade and my winter shade isn't the like best winter shade right now. So I mixed my Lancome Teint Idol in the shade 460. I'm going to mix that with my Huda Beauty foundation in the shade Cinnamon. And I'm just gonna dab a couple spots and then blend it all in with my beauty blender. And both of these foundations are full coverage. So if you want to use like a lighter coverage foundation, use like a tinted moisturizer, or Smashbox Studio Finish is a really good like light to medium coverage foundation. And then I just blend that all the way out into my skin. And you don't need a lot. I literally use like a half a pump of each one. And you want to make sure you blend it down to your neck. And just bring it all the way down. You bring it down to your neck so when you take pictures, you're not looking like airbrushed here and then a whole different complexion at your neck. And then after that we're going to use our concealer. So I use 2 different concealers. I use the MAC Water Weight Concealer in NC35. This is a very lightweight foundation concealer. It like blends really well, but I like a little bit of a heavier highlight, so I kind of put a lot. I use 2 different concealers. Then my next concealer I'm gonna use is Huda Beauty concealer in the shade Peanut Butter. This is my favorite concealer right now. It's like so creamy. And I like this shade, but I think I'm gonna get this shade lighter just because the peanut butter is like very close to my complexion already. So then I'm gonna take the same beauty blender, and I just put my concealer in like the T-zone, my chin, a little bit on my nose, and on my forehead. Then we're just gonna blend that with the same beauty blender. I use the tip of my beauty blender for my concealer and the bottom of my beauty blender for my foundation. And anytime I feel like my concealer got too far down, I just pat it with the bottom to kind of like erase the line. So now that we have our concealer on, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my cream contour. So I'm gonna use my Morphe cream concealer palette. I don't even think they still make this one. This one is the 06CF. And I'm just gonna take my Morphe G34 brush. It's a dual fiber brush, so you can use it for both creams and powder. And I'm just gonna take my contour and go make a line there, like right with my cheek, under my cheekbone, on both sides. I'm gonna do the bridge of my nose and over my forehead. If I'm doing a more like contoured look, I'll also do here, like the bottom of my chin, just to give me like a little bit more like slim jawline. And then I'm going to take a different beauty blender, and I'm going to take the bottom of this one to blend out my contour. And I like to blend my contour up instead of down. Do the same thing on this side. Then I use the pointy part to do my nose. So now we have all our foundation on, our concealer on. Now we're going to go on to brows. For my brows, I fill in my brows red because I have red hair. You don't have to always make your brows match your hair color, but I like to do it, like to be a little different. So at first, what I'm first going to use, I'm going to use like a brow gel. I use the Busy Gal Brows by Tarte. This one, I don't know the shade of this. Oh, medium brown. I don't like to use a dark brown because then it'll like take away from the red and it won't let the red show up. So I just brush this through my brows to kind of make them a little bit thicker. Because normally I get my brows waxed and tinted, but they're not waxed or tinted right now, so we're just gonna make it work. So we're gonna brush all of this up. So now we're gonna take our brow pencil to define our arch and our shape of our brow. So I just use a Pure Minerals, the dual-sided eyebrow pencil. I never use the fatter side because it's not like pointy enough. I need it to be like very precise. So then I'm just gonna take it and I'm just gonna start from. You start from the top some people do like a measurement, like here, here, here. No, I'm just eyeballing like where my arch is and how like how strong of an arch I want it to be. And I just create my tail. Same thing for this side. And I always have a hard time doing my eyebrows because one of my eyebrows is higher than the other. So this one is higher than this one. So I always kind of have to add more to the bottom of this one to kind of like make it match. Just bring this down. So now I have the base of my eyebrow arch. Now I'm going to take I use a different concealer for my brows than my highlight because I need my like brow concealer to be a little bit thicker. Like I need it to like erase any mistakes I made. So this one is the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear Camouflage Concealer. It's like my favorite concealer and it lasts me like forever because I only use like a dot for both brows. And then to carve my brow out, I'm going to take my MAC 242 brush. And then I'm just gonna clean up the bottom of that line. So now you have like where your arch is gonna be for both. So now I'm gonna go in with my reds for my brows. Okay. So I use 2 lip liner pencils for my brows. I use 2 NYX ones. One is the color Auburn, which is like a deep dark red, and then I use their matte lip liner in the color Cherry Skies, and I use that kind of for like the beginning of my brows. And I'm gonna take a spoolie brush to like brush through my eyebrows. So I'm gonna brush those up, and I always use Auburn for the tail to make it darker. Then I kind of like draw like little hairlines, kind of make it a little bit more defined. Then I'm going to take Cherry Skies and I'm going to just make short strokes. most of our brow. Almost done. I'm just gonna kind of like brush that in, kind of make that look a little bit more natural, not so harsh. Then we're going to carve the top of our brow with our concealer. Then I want my tail to be. I like to. There you go. So then your first brow is done. And then once you have that line, you can kind of use that one to see, to make sure they're on the same. Always my easier brow, like, to tame and to get to do what I want it to do. My other brow, the arch usually always gives me a problem. So now we have our brows done, so all I'm gonna do is blend the like harsh lines of my concealer, because you can see how it's there. So I'm gonna take some Fix Plus spray and spray it onto my Morphe M461 brush. I love brushes that I can use cream and powder with. So I love duo fiber brushes. All done. Almost messed it up. And now that we have our brows done, so now our brows are done, and now we can start with our powders. So we're gonna set our face. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my under eye, and I'm gonna set that with my Anastasia highlight and contour palette. I have it in the shade Tan Deep. So this is the Anastasia palette in Tan Deep. And I just take, this is just a Smashbox special edition brush. It came from their holiday collection. And I'm just gonna set my under eye where my under eye concealer is. And this is gonna keep it from like creasing. A little bit of my brow, and on my nose, and on my chin. Then I'm going to take my Fit Me powder foundation in the shade Coconut and my Lancome Transluce powder that they don't sell this anymore. They sell a loose one, but the pressed one is where it's at. So I'm going to take this and I mix these two together to set my whole face. So I'm gonna take my Morphe. This is my favorite brush. It is like my all-time favorite brush. It is the Morphe M551 brush. It's like a big fluffy like powder brush, but it has like a dome shape to it. And I'm just gonna set my whole face with this. Wow, almost broke that with both of these shades. Okay. So now that's done. I'm going to bake. Baking is probably one of my favorite parts of doing my makeup, because that's what like makes me look like airbrushed, and it makes my skin look flawless. Like I don't have any imperfections. And I like to bake because if I'm doing my eyeshadow last, if I'm baking, if any eyeshadow falls on my face, the powder will soak it up and I can just brush it away. So I just like to bake right under my eye, and I use the Fit Me Loose Powder foundation in medium deep, which isn't really deep, medium deep at all. It's like light. So then that's baked. Now I'm gonna go in with my contour, and I'm gonna take my Morphe 437 brush, and I'm gonna still take my Anastasia. As you can see, I've only used like these two colors, and I'm going to put my powder contour on. Put it on my nose. All the way up to the brow. Do a little bit on my forehead. And also a little on the jawline. So once that's finished, now we can start with our eyes. So for eyes, we're going to do like a cute, like little like rose goldish look. We're going to be using our handy dandy soft glam palette at all. So for eyeshadow primer, I don't buy eyeshadow primer. I own it, but I don't really use it. Like they say, use eyeshadow primer. I use Shape Tape concealer because it dries matte and it creates like a nice surface for me to put the eyeshadow on. And I'm just gonna like dab that with my finger because I didn't wet my smaller fingers. With a nice little nude like color, so we're gonna go with orange soda, and we're just gonna set the whole eye with orange soda. And I'm gonna set that with my M501 brush. So now I have that done. I have my eyebrows done. So we're gonna get into the actual eyeshadow. So the first color I'm going to use is I'm going to go in with Sienna. So I'm gonna take this color right here, and I'm just going to go in, and I'm gonna go in with that in my crease. So I'm gonna start from the middle and kind of like bring it down to here. Take another color and kind of brighten that up because it kind of looks a little dull. Just gonna keep blending and sweeping out. Did I say what brush this was? And this is the M521 brush by Morphe. Most of my brushes are from Morphe because I signed up for a subscription service where they send me like brushes every month. So I never had to buy like other brushes. I buy some like depending on like certain MAC brushes or like if it's a brush set on sale, but Morphe is like my favorite go-to brush. And Sigma brushes. like a orange color. I'm going to use this orange in my Juvias palette. And I'm going to take it with the M516 brush. I like using this brush because it's curved. I don't know if you can see, but it's curved. So when I go to put it on my eyelid, the tip of what I want goes right into blending. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to like kind of like diffuse this a little bit to make it like a little bit more vibrant. So now I'm going to take a crease, my small crease blending brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Mulberry, which is this little dark of a like brown here. And I'm going to swirl it into the crease like this. And I do like little circles and then sweeping into the crease. So it's like circles and a sweep. Now you have Mulberry. So then the next color I'm going to take is, I'm going to have a little smokiness to it. So I'm going to take the color Sultry. And I'm going to just put that like in the back, in the middle of my lid. So I'm going to take Sultry. First, I'm gonna have to put it's showing up the way I want it to. Pat in that Mulberry. No, the Sultry color, not Mulberry. Pat that right into what we're trying to do.
A lot better. I feel like my little bit of
Then the next color we're going to use is Rose Pink. And this Rose Pink is what we're going to put in the inner corner. We're going to put Rose Pink in the inner. Have that blend into. Then you're going to take your. And then we're going to add a little bit of noir. And we're just going to add this. We're going to tap that like right. We're going to make a V with the noir and the. Then we're just going to take a regular like little blending brush with nothing on it. We're just gonna like kind of sweep that in and out, the V in and out, up into the crease a little bit. There we go. And you see how like all this fall out? We're not gonna see that because the bake is gonna dust all that off. So then we're gonna like give a little pop of shimmer in our inner corner. We're gonna take Fairy and we're gonna put that right in the inner corner of the eye. And then we're going to take our Urban Decay eyeliner. This is in the shade 0. Urban Decay eyeliner is the only eyeliner that I can put in my waterline without me having like irritation. So now we're gonna move on to our liquid liner and our finishing touches and like our mascara and highlighter, and then we'll be all done. Now for our liquid liner. Normally I use like a potted like gel liner, but I don't feel like doing that because that's a lot of work. So I'm just gonna use a regular liquid liner. See, that's a perfect wing. Wing liner is like my #1 thing I'm good at, because when I first started putting on makeup, my grandma would only let me wear eyeliner. For like from 10th grade to like 11th grade, I could only wear eyeliner and mascara. I couldn't wear no other makeup. So I was like, if I'm gonna only wear these two, I'm gonna have the best eyeliner you ever seen. Two matching wings. That never happens. Two matching ones never happen. So now we have that. So we're going to start our mascara. I use 10,000 mascaras. Not even going to lie. Legit 10,000 mascaras. My first, because I'm not putting on lashes, I'm going to use mascara primers and a bunch of probably like 50 different mascaras. Just because I feel fancy. So, the first one I'm going to use is Lancome Cills Booster. It is their mascara primer, but it's white. So, I put that on first.
That on first.
And then I'm going to take my Ulta brand. Is that it? Yes. My Ulta brand blue mascara primer. And I'm going to put that on top of the white one. Now, I'm going to use the Benefit Bad Gal Big Bang Mascara. When I tell you I wanted to hate this mascara, like when I got it to try, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this, but it is my favorite mascara now. And can y'all see that? Like, good. That's what be making it poppin'. Cause sometimes, like, I might do a video just on how to make your eyelashes look like fake lashes. And some of the mascaras are like drugstore mascaras that are like $4. Essence got some of the best mascaras. Now I'm using Lashtopia by Bare Minerals. And this one is a more volumizing mascara. I like to use like a volumizing mascara, a mascara that adds fiber, and a lengthening mascara. Okay, so now our eyes are done. Now we can brush off our bake. So I'm gonna take my Morphe MB1 brush. This is like the big, like just a big dense fluff brush. And I'm just gonna brush off all that excess big from the sides and see all that. Use some blush. I'm gonna be using Fenty Beauty's the Kilowatt. It's like a highlighter, but because this is Ginger Minge and Moscow Mule, so it's like a rose gold color. So I use it as a blush. And then I'm gonna go on top of that with my Becca Blush Copper. As you can see, I used a lot of this. And then for my highlight, I would do a deep highlight, but I don't really feel like that today. Not today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use like one of the oldest things I have. It is a MAC. What is this? It's a MAC mineralized bronzer. Boom. MAC mineralized bronzer. When I tell you I've had this thing for years. I should probably throw it out, but it still works. And I'm just going to take that and put my highlight right on top of that blush. And then I like to do it on my nose. Put a little highlight on my nose. So now we're highlighted, bronzed up. Then time for lip. My lipstick usually consists of like the same thing all the time. It's always a brown lip liner. I am the queen of the brown lip liner. No matter what color lipstick I got on, I'm putting on brown lip liner. I usually put like a matte lipstick on over top of this, but I don't feel like it. So we're just gonna gloss it up with the Fenty Gloss Bomb. My favorite lip gloss of all time. And then to give you the full effect, I'm gonna brush this hair down. And can I tell y'all, this hairbrush is like the best hairbrush I ever got. It's by Beach Waver, and this hairbrush is like amazing. It's like, it has boar bristles and like wig brush bristles. So like you can brush your hair up in a ponytail and it'll slick everything back in. If you got like a wrap, you could just brush your wrap out and it tames all like the flyaways and all that good stuff. So that is the finished product. And tell me what y'all think, and tell me what other videos y'all want to see and everything. But I hope you guys like this video. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys later.